Hello, hard workers. Welcome to episode 15. I am Anna.
And I am Lucas. Today we talk about jobs and dreams.
We are so happy to have you with us for this one. You know, usually when we do a deep dive, there's this feeling of a race.
Oh, absolutely. It's a sprint. We've got a huge pile of research, data, articles, and we're trying to just, synthesize it all.
Exactly. Compress it into these high-energy, bite-sized pieces. But looking at the sources we have for today, this one just feels different.
It really does. The material we're looking at, it's not just about the what. It's not just data points and career statistics.
Right.
It's about the human side of it all. It's about how our work, our jobs, our aspirations, how they become part of who we are. And you really can't rush that kind of topic.
You can't. It wouldn't feel right.
Eh?
So for you listening, we're going to change the pace a little today. We're aiming for a more peaceful atmosphere.
A calmer space.
Yeah, think of it as a slow learning deep dive. We're not trying to hack your productivity. We're trying to, just feed your understanding.
I love that phrase, slow learning. It's a real concept in educational psychology. The idea that to really get a handle on something, to truly master it, sometimes you have to slow down.
Take a breath.
Exactly. Lower the cognitive load and just let the information settle in. So that's our mission today. We are going to explore the world of work, but we're going to do it in layers.
Starting with the basics.
We'll start with the vocabulary, the words we use for our jobs. Then we'll move into the psychology of it all, that high-stakes moment of the job interview.
And then the grammar.
And then we tackle a piece of grammar that is, I think, so important because it's the bridge between what we've done and who we are now.
The have you ever structure. It's fascinating when you break it down because it's not really about grammatical rules, is it? It's about our life story.
It's about memory. It's a way of cataloging our own experiences.
And speaking of experiences and memories, we have a story coming up later that I think is going to be very, very memorable.
Oh, the interview story.
And
It's quite something. It's definitely a cautionary tale.
A perfect example of what not to do if you'd like to be employed.
And a complete and utter disaster.
It is. But before we get to the nightmares, I think we should start with the dreams.
I agree. Let's do that.
Okay, so segment 1 in our outline is the vocabulary of work. But the sources we've looked at suggest that the best place to start isn't with a resume or, a LinkedIn profile.
No, it's the playground.
The playground. The idea of the dream job.
It's a universal concept, isn't it? All the research in child psychology points to this. When you're 5, maybe 6 years old, your idea of a career has nothing to do with reality.
Not at all.
A 5-year-old isn't thinking about a mortgage or health insurance or a terrible commute.
Or office politics.
God, no. They think about the essence of the job. They just think about what feels exciting, what sounds cool.
It's pure aspiration. It's about who you want to be, not what you want to earn. So I have to ask you, looking back, way back, what did 5-year-olds you want to be?
Oh, that's an easy one. I don't need to check my notes for that. It is seared into my brain. I had absolutely no desire to work in an office.
I can imagine.
And I certainly didn't dream of analyzing grammar for a living. No, I wanted to be an astronaut.
An astronaut, of course. The ultimate dream job.
It is, isn't it? The final frontier. I just had this incredibly vivid picture in my head of putting on that big white suit, floating around in zero gravity.
You're looking back at the Earth.
Looking back at that little blue marble. And, digging through the research for today, it seems I was in good company. Astronaut is almost always in the top 3 dream jobs for kids around the world.
Why do you think that is? Is it just the adventure of it? The rockets?
I think it's what the rocket represents.
Yeah.
It's pure exploration. It's about going somewhere no one you know has ever been. There's even a real psychological term for it, the overview effect.
I've heard of this.
It's what astronauts report feeling when they actually see the Earth from space. They experience this cognitive shift. They suddenly understand how small and fragile and interconnected everything is. And I think even as kids, we kind of crave that perspective. We want to see the bigger picture.
It's just so interesting how that fades, though. How our dreams become smaller, or maybe just more practical as we get older.
Well, the reality of becoming an astronaut is just brutal.
Oh, unbelievably difficult. The years of math and physics.
Yeah.
The physical training.
That machine, the centrifuge that just spins you around and around until you black out. No, thank you.
Exactly. So as kids, we see the stars. But as we get older, we start to see all the barriers, all the hard work.
And we start looking at jobs that are a bit more terrestrial.
A bit more grounded. So let's go through some of those. We have a list of key professions from our research, and I want to go a little deeper than just a simple definition. I want to talk about the nuance.
The hidden reality of the job. Let's do it.
Let's start with one that's very common, but carries, I think, an incredible amount of weight. The doctor.
The doctor, yes. On the surface, of course, a doctor is someone who treats sick people. But when you look at the sociological studies, which we did, it is so much more complicated.
It's a job that gets a huge amount of respect from society.
Immense respect. But it also consistently has one of the highest rates of burnout of any profession.
And that's because it's not just a technical skill, right? It's not like fixing a car engine.
Not at all. It's the emotional weight. The term for it is emotional labor. You are dealing with people at their most vulnerable. You see pain every single day. You have to deliver bad news. You're constantly face to face with mortality.
That must be so draining.
Incredibly. So a really good doctor needs this almost paradoxical personality. You have to be deeply empathetic so you can connect with your patient and make them feel cared for.
But at the same time,
You have to be incredibly tough. You have to build a kind of emotional wall just to survive the day-to-day reality of the job.
you have to care enough to do the job well, but not so much that it destroys you personally. What a difficult line to walk.
A very fine line.
Okay, let's pivot from that. Let's go to the other side of the brain, the creative fields. Our notes highlight artists and writers.
Ah, the creatives. The ones who are meant to bring beauty and meaning into the world.
But when you look at the economic data in our sources, there's always this dark cloud that hangs over these jobs, isn't there?
There is. It's the stereotype of the starving artist. It's not just a cliche, it's often a reality. The big practical question is always there. Can you actually make a living? Can you pay your rent with your paintings or your poems?
So choosing a creative career path is often seen as a huge risk.
A huge risk. The income is not guaranteed. It's not like being, say, an accountant, where there's a clear path and a steady paycheck. It takes a certain kind of courage.
Or maybe just obsession.
Or obsession, yes.
Right.
To really pursue art, you're fundamentally betting on yourself, on your own vision. But for the people who do it, that passion, it's worth the risk.
All right, let's move through a few more of these. I want to say them slowly and clearly so our listeners can really build a picture in their minds. Let's talk about the teacher.
The teacher.
Yeah.
So fundamental. I mean, if you really think about it, almost no other profession could exist without this one first.
They're literally shaping the next generation.
Literally. But the key skill here, according to all the educational theory, isn't just knowing your subject. It isn't just knowledge.
It's patience.
It's immense patience. It's the ability to take a really complex idea and break it down into simple, understandable parts. And it's about managing a classroom full of 30 different kids with 30 different personalities.
That sounds like a superpower to me.
It really is.
Okay, what about the engineer?
The engineer. The ultimate problem solver. If the artist deals in, say, ambiguity and emotion, the engineer deals in pure precision.
They make things work.
They make things work. They build our bridges, they write our software, they design our cars, they look at the world, and they don't just see what it is, they see a system that could be better, that could be optimized.
I love that. Okay, what about the chef? I feel like we all have this idea of what a chef does from TV shows.
And the reality is so much less glamorous than what you see on TV or on Instagram.
I suspected as much.
Being a chef is an incredibly physical job. It's basically blue-collar labor, but you wear a white coat. A professional kitchen is hot, it's loud, it's dangerous, and it's incredibly fast-paced.
And there's a strict hierarchy, right?
Oh, it's almost military. The head chef is the general, and everyone has their role. You have to have a deep, genuine passion for food, or you will just burn out from the pressure of a busy dinner service.
Yeah.
You simply won't survive.
Okay. And the pilot.
The pilot. This one kind of connects back to my astronaut dream, but, just inside the Earth's atmosphere.
A little more practical.
A little, but it's a job of immense responsibility. Just think about it. You have hundreds of human lives in your hands flying 7 miles above the ground.
It requires just absolute focus.
Absolute focus, incredible calm under pressure, and a strict adherence to procedure and checklists. There's no room for creative thinking when you're trying to land a jumbo jet in a storm.
Definitely not. Okay, and then we have the farmer.
The farmer, a profession we so often forget about in our modern city-based lives, but they are quite literally the foundation of our entire civilization.
We wouldn't be here without them.
No. And the source material really highlights the connection to nature. A farmer's life is governed by natural cycles. They work with the seasons, the weather, the land, the animals.
And it's incredibly hard work.
It's very hard. Physical labor, yes, but it's also deeply skilled. It's about managing resources, understanding biology, and a lot of complex planning.
And finally, let's talk about the one that's maybe the most common for many of us, and probably for many of you listening, the office worker.
The office worker. This is such a broad category, but it's really the backbone of the entire modern corporate world.
It covers so many different roles.
Analysts, project managers, administrators, HR. The list is endless. The work revolves around computers, meetings, reports, emails. It might not sound as exciting as being a pilot or as earthy as being a farmer, but this is the engine that drives global commerce.
And it requires its own unique set of skills.
Absolutely. Soft skills, communication, collaboration, organization, these are paramount.
It's just amazing to see that range,
Mhm.
from the soil of the farm to the skies of the pilot. But there is one thing that connects all of them.
Oh, yes.
No matter which of these jobs you want, from chef to office worker, there's usually one specific terrifying hurdle you have to get over first.
The interview.
The interview. And that brings us perfectly to segment 2, the art of the interview.
Yeah.
Because you could be the most talented person in the world.
The best coder, the best cook, the most brilliant engineer.
But if you can't handle that 30-minute conversation in a small room, you might not get the job.
That is the unfortunate truth. A job interview is a performance. It's a skill that is completely separate from the skills of the job itself.
You have to sell yourself.
You do. And to sell yourself effectively, you need the right words. You need the right vocabulary. You have to understand what the interviewer is really listening for.
So let's break down that vocabulary. Our sources highlight a few key positive attributes. These are the power words, the adjectives that just make a hiring manager's ears perk up.
Let's start with the first one. Hardworking.
Okay, this seems obvious.
It does seem obvious. Of course you should be hardworking, but you have to signal it. No manager on earth wants to hire a lazy employee. But hardworking isn't just about saying you'll stay late.
It's more than that.
It's about demonstrating grit. It's about conveying that when a project becomes difficult or frustrating, you don't just stop. You push through.
Okay, next on the list is organized.
Organized. This is so crucial in the modern workplace. We are all just drowning in information, in emails and data.
An organized employee is a gift.
It's a superpower. It's someone who doesn't lose important files, who manages their calendar effectively, who shows up to meetings prepared. In a busy office, being organized saves everyone else time. And as we know, time is money.
That makes sense. What about punctual? This one seems so simple.
It is simple, but it's what's called a proxy variable. It stands for something bigger. On the surface, being punctual just means you're on time. The meeting is at 9, you're in your seat at 8:55.
But there's a deeper psychology to it.
There is, because being late, even by a few minutes, is often interpreted as a sign of disrespect. It signals that you think your time is more valuable than everyone else's.
Oh, I've never thought of it that way.
So being punctual signals that you're reliable, that you're respectful. The boss thinks, okay, if they're reliable with their time, they're probably reliable with their work too. It creates what psychologists call a halo effect.
That's a fantastic point. Okay, creative.
Creative. And again, this isn't just a word for the artists and writers we talked about earlier.
No, you can be a creative accountant.
You can be a creative engineer, a creative manager. In an interview, creative really just means you're a good problem solver. It means you can think outside the box. When the standard way of doing things isn't working, can you come up with a new approach?
And the last one on our list, team player.
Team player. In most modern companies, this is completely non-negotiable.
You can't just work in a silo anymore.
No, almost every job requires collaboration. You have to be able to listen to other people's ideas, to share credit for successes, to help out a colleague who is struggling. Companies hire for personality and culture fit just as much as they hire for technical skill.
Now we have to talk about the flip side, the negative vocabulary, the word you must avoid.
Lazy.
You must never, ever, under any circumstances, describe yourself as lazy in a professional context. It is the absolute kiss of death for a job application, even if you know deep down you enjoy a lazy Sunday.
But this brings us to the ultimate trap, doesn't it? That classic, tricky interview question that everyone dreads. Oh yes, the one you know is coming. The interviewer leans back in their chair, they smile, and they ask, "So, what would you say is your biggest weakness?"
It is such a horrible question because the psychology of it is so complex.
It is. If you're too honest and you say something like, "Well, I'm always late," or "I find it hard to get motivated," you've just disqualified yourself.
But if you're dishonest and give a fake answer like, "My biggest weakness is that I work too hard," You just sound arrogant and disingenuous.
Exactly. It's a test. It's a test of your self-awareness and your ability to be diplomatic. And my advice, the advice from all the career coaches in our sources, is to never, ever answer with a fatal flaw like, I am lazy.
So what do you do?
You choose a real but minor weakness, and you show that you are actively working to improve it. For example, sometimes I get a little nervous about public speaking, so I recently joined a Toastmasters club to build my confidence.
So that shows you're self-aware and proactive?
Precisely. It turns a negative into a positive.
All this talk about nerves, I think we should try to bring it to life. The source material had a little script for a nervous interview. I think we should act it out, just to show how easily anxiety can completely derail a great candidate.
Okay, I'm game. I will do my best to channel my most anxious, clumsy inner self.
Perfect. I'll be the calm, slightly intimidating interviewer. You're the candidate. Ready?
I'm ready. My heart is already pounding. I can feel my palms getting sweaty.
All right, here we go. Good morning. Thank you for coming in today. I'm the manager here.
Hello. It's very nice to meet you.
And you. Let's start with a handshake.
Oh, okay. Yes. My hand is shaking a little. I'm sorry.
Oh, you have a very energetic handshake. Please have a seat right there.
Thank you. Yes. Okay. Just gonna sit down. Whoops. I think I missed the chair a little.
Yeah, right there. You
Yeah.
seem a little on edge. Can I get you some coffee? Perhaps that would help you relax.
Yes. Yes, please. Sea coffee would be wonderful. Thank you.
Here you are. Be careful. It's quite hot.
Thank you so... Oh, no. My hands. I'm shaking so much. I'm so sorry. I've spilled it.
Oh, dear. That is hot coffee all over my desk.
And on this very important report.
I am so sorry.
It was a white shirt.
I see that.
Wow. That was painful. I felt a wave of secondhand embarrassment just acting that out.
It was excruciating to perform. But that's the thing. For a lot of people, that's not an exaggeration. Interview nerves are real. Your body's stress response, the cortisol, the adrenaline, it kicks in, and suddenly you can't control your own hands.
So what's the lesson here? What's the takeaway?
Preparation. The key is preparation. If you have practiced your answers, if you know what you're going to say about being hardworking and organized, it gives your brain something to focus on.
It anchors you.
It anchors you. It lowers the mental strain, which can help you get better control over your physical reactions. Confidence comes from knowing you're prepared.
Speaking of knowing what to say, I think this is the perfect time to move into the technical core of our deep dive today. Let's get into segment 3, golden grammar. My favorite part. Today, we are really going to focus on the present perfect tense, and specifically on how we use it to talk about our experiences.
This is a tense that can be a real stumbling block for language learners, I think, because it's about the past, but it doesn't feel like the normal past tense.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange.
It is distinct, and the single most important rule to remember, the one we need to really lock in, is this. We use the present perfect to talk about our life experiences when the time is not important.
The time is not important. Can you explain that a bit more? Because when we talk about the past, we usually think about dates and times.
Of course. Think of it this way. If I ask you, did you go to London last summer? I'm using the past simple. I've attached the question to a specific point in time last summer.
Yes.
But if I just want to know about your life in general, if I want to know about the total collection of your experiences, the date doesn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is yes or no. Is this experience in your memory? So I don't ask, did you go? I ask, have you ever been to London?
Ah, I see. So the past simple is like a diary entry with a date. And the present perfect is like a checklist of life experiences.
That's a perfect analogy. It's your life's bucket list. And it connects the past event to your present self. When you say, I have been to London, it implies, and therefore, I have that memory and knowledge now. It's a part of who I am today.
To really get this right, though, we have to practice a structure. And the part that often trips people up is the verb. It's not the simple past form.
No, it's the past participle. And unfortunately, English has a lot of irregular verbs. The most common verbs are often the most irregular. So we are going to drill 3 of the most important ones right now. And for you listening, we really want you to repeat these out loud after us.
Okay, let's start with the most fundamental verb there is, the verb to be. The participle form is been.
Correct. Be becomes been. We're going to repeat the full question 3 times. I want you to listen to the sound, the rhythm of it, and then repeat. Ready?
Have you ever been to London?
Repeat it. Have you ever been to London?
One more time. Nice and clear. Have you ever been to London?
Perfect. Okay, let's move on. The next verb is to eat. This is so common for talking about food, travel, new experiences. The participle is eaten.
Eaten. Okay, let's use it in a question.
Ready? Repeat after us. Have you ever eaten sushi?
Again, have you ever eaten sushi?
And one last time. Have you ever eaten sushi?
Good. Okay, the third one for our drill, the verb to see. We use this for movies, for famous places, for interesting experiences.
See becomes seen. We can use this for anything you experience with your eyes.
Like maybe a ghost.
Like a ghost. Perfect. Let's drill that one.
Okay, everyone. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Repeat it. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Last time. Have you ever seen a ghost?
Excellent. Now, there's one more piece to this. If someone asks you one of these questions, have you ever seen a ghost? You need to know how to answer correctly.
It's not just yes or no.
No. The grammatically correct short answer is important. So if the answer is yes,
You say, yes, I have.
exactly. You don't need to repeat the main verb. You just use the auxiliary verb have. Yes, I have.
And if the answer is no,
You say, no, I haven't.
yes, I have. No, I haven't. It's so simple, but it sounds so much more fluent and natural than just a one-word answer.
It shows you've really mastered the structure. It sounds complete and polite.
So now that we have this wonderful grammar structure for talking about life experiences, let's imagine a situation where the answer to the question, have you ever had a truly disastrous job interview, is a very big, yes, I have.
Oh, dear. I think it's time for segment 4. It's story time.
This story comes from a collection in our sources titled Workplace Horrors. And this one is simply called The Worst Job Interview. It is funny, but it's also deeply, deeply awkward. I think we can all feel a bit of sympathy for the main character, Tom.
Oh, poor Tom. I'm going to read this one. And for everyone listening, I want you to really try to visualize the scene. Imagine you're in the room. Feel the rising panic.
Okay, take your way. Read it nice and slowly for us.
All right. Tom applied for a job at a big bank. This was a very important job for him. A big title, a great salary. He knew he had to look perfect, so he wore his best suit. It was a sharp, dark blue suit. He looked just like a banker. But on the inside, his stomach was doing flips. He was incredibly nervous. His heart was just pounding in his chest. He walked into the manager's office, and the boss stood up to shake his hand. "Please, sit down," the boss said, gesturing to a modern-looking office chair. Tom, trying to look confident, went to sit down, but he didn't notice a very important detail. The chair was on a very smooth, polished wooden floor, and the chair had wheels. The second Tom's weight touched the cushion, whoosh! The chair shot backwards incredibly fast, like it was escaping. Tom had no time to react. Bang! He landed flat on his back on the floor. His legs went up in the air for a moment. He just lay there staring at the ceiling, probably wondering if this was all a terrible dream. He scrambled back to his feet. His face was bright red. He tried to brush off his suit and act like nothing had happened. The boss, trying to be nice and break the awkward silence, asked, "Would you, like a cup of coffee?" Now, Tom knew he should probably say no, but he wanted to seem calm and recovered, so he said, "Yes, please." Yeah. The boss handed him a full cup of hot coffee, but Tom's hands, they were still shaking from the adrenaline of the fall. They were trembling. He took the cup shook, and the coffee sloshed right over the edge and all over the boss's perfectly clean white shirt. It was a catastrophe. The white shirt now had a big, brown, ugly stain. Tom did not get the job.
Oh, Tom, that is just... It's a perfect storm of disaster. It's like a comedy sketch, but it's his real life.
It's a tragedy in 3 acts, isn't it? The chair, the fall, and the coffee?
And when you analyze it, that little detail, the chair having wheels on a polished floor, it's so specific. It shows how, in a moment of high stress, your awareness of your surroundings just plummets.
He didn't check. He just committed.
And spilling the coffee, I mean,
Yeah.
you might be able to recover from falling over. You could try to laugh it off. Wow, that chair is faster than it looks.
Maybe. A slim chance.
But ruining the boss's clothes, that feels like a point of no return. You've invaded their personal space. You've stained them. It's
Thanks.
over.
It's over. So I think there are 2 very important lessons here. First, always check your chair before you sit down in a strange room. And second, if your hands are shaking from nerves,
Do not accept a hot beverage.
just ask for a glass of water. Water is safe, water dries, and it doesn't leave a stain.
Know your limits when you're under pressure. Great advice.
Well, let's fast forward. Let's imagine you do get the job. You avoid the rolling chair, you don't spill any coffee, and you get the offer. You are now officially an employee.
And now you enter the world of our next segment. Segment 5, work-life balance.
This is such a huge topic in all the organizational psychology sources right now. We have the reality of the 9 to 5, the standard office hours. You go to work, you do your job, you go home.
But the psychology of the work week isn't flat, is it? It's more like a wave.
It's a wave, absolutely. And Let's talk about the peak of that wave, that glorious moment known as the Friday feeling.
Ah, yes. Everyone knows that feeling. Friday afternoon.
Even if you really enjoy your job, there is a special kind of energy in the air at 4 o'clock on a Friday. The weekend is so close you can taste it. You just feel lighter.
It's the anticipation of freedom, isn't it? The promise of 2 whole days where your time is your own again.
Exactly. But then we have the weekend itself, Saturday and Sunday. And this is where the conversation about stress management becomes so important. Because for a lot of people, the weekend isn't actually as relaxing as it should be.
Our source material highlights 2 really important keywords here.
Hmm.
Relax and stress.
They are polar opposites. Stress is the great enemy of modern work. Chronic stress leads to burnout, which is a very serious state of physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion.
And to fight stress, we have to actively pursue relaxation.
We do. And relax is an active verb. It's a choice. It's something you have to do, not just something that happens to you.
So what's the expert advice here? What's the golden rule?
The golden rule is switching off.
What does that mean in practice? Because it's harder than it sounds. Our office is in our pocket now.
It means creating a real strict boundary. In the modern world, we have work emails and chat messages on our phones buzzing at all hours. My advice, and the advice from all the experts we read, is to be ruthless about it. Do not check your work email on the weekend.
That is so hard for people to do. There's this hustle culture that tells us we should always be on, always be available.
It's incredibly hard. We've become addicted to being busy. It makes us feel important. But if you check your email for just 5 minutes on a Saturday morning, your brain immediately switches back into work mode. Your stress levels, your cortisol, it all goes up.
You're not really resting.
You are not resting. You're not allowing your brain to recover. So Saturday and Sunday need to become sacred. No work allowed.
It's about protecting your energy.
Exactly. Hobbies, family, friends, sleep, whatever recharges you. The funny thing is, the best way to be truly hardworking and productive during the week is to be properly lazy on the weekend. It's energy management, not just time management.
I love that framing. Rest isn't the opposite of work, it's part of work. It's the recharge cycle.
It's absolutely essential. You can't run an engine at maximum speed forever without it breaking down. The same is true for our brains.
Okay, so we've learned the vocabulary, we've mastered the grammar, we've heard the cautionary tale, and we've talked about balance. I think it's time to have a little fun.
I agree. I think it's time for segment 6, the job riddles game.
This is our interactive finale. So here's how it's going to work. One of us will describe a job using only 3 short sentences. We won't say the name of the profession.
And I will try to guess, but more importantly, we want you, our listener, to guess along with us. We'll leave a little pause, a moment of silence, for you to think about it and say the answer out loud.
Exactly. It's a great way to test yourself. Okay, are you ready for round 1? I'll give the first set of clues.
I'm ready.
Okay, listen carefully. Number 1, I work in a kitchen. Number 2, I wear a white hat. And number 3, I cook food. Who am I?
A kitchen. The classic tall white hat. Cooking food, that sounds delicious. It has to be. A chef.
Correct. It is a chef. I hope you got that at home. Okay, round 2 is your turn to give the clues.
All right, my turn. Here we go. Clue number 1, I work in a school. Clue number 2, I help children learn. And clue number 3, I use a whiteboard. Who am I?
Okay, a school. Helping children. A whiteboard. This is that person we said needs an incredible amount of patience. It must be a teacher.
That is correct, a teacher. Are you ready for round 3?
I am. My turn for the clues again.
Yeah.
Okay. Clue 1, I fly planes. Clue 2, I travel the world. And clue 3, I wear a uniform. Who am I?
Flying planes, traveling the world. This is the more practical version of my childhood dream. This is a pilot.
A pilot is correct. Very good. Okay, we have one final round. Round 4. Your clues.
Here's the last one. Clue 1, I work on a farm. Clue 2, I have cows and sheep. And clue 3, I wake up very early. Who am I?
A farm, cows and sheep, waking up before the sun. The foundation of civilization, it is. A farmer.
A farmer it is. Well done.
That was fun. It's a simple game, but it's actually a really good way to strengthen your vocabulary.
It is. Connecting words to simple, clear images is one of the best ways to lock them into your long-term memory.
Well, what a journey we've been on today. We started with the childhood dream of flying to the stars as an astronaut.
And we ended on the ground. With the reality of being a farmer, we've covered a lot.
We really have. Let's do a quick summary of the key takeaways from our deep dive today.
We started by exploring the vocabulary of different jobs, looking at the nuance behind being a doctor, an engineer, or an artist.
Then we moved into the art of the interview. We learned the positive power words like punctual and organized, and we learned to never, ever say that you're lazy.
We drilled our golden grammar, the present perfect, have you ever been, have you ever eaten, and remember the rule. We use it for life experiences when the exact time is not important. It is the tense of your life story.
We also heard the truly tragic tale of poor Tom and his runaway chair, a powerful lesson in situational awareness, and in not accepting hot coffee when you're nervous.
And finally, we discussed the critical importance of work-life balance and the rule of switching off on the weekend to prevent stress and burnout. Rest is a productive activity.
It has been a real pleasure taking this slow, thoughtful journey with you today.
It has. And before we sign off, I just want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. We've been practicing the question, have you ever, all day.
Yes.
So tonight, or maybe tomorrow on a walk, I want you to ask yourself that question, but make it about your own life. Ask yourself, have you ever chased a big dream? Or have you ever taken a risk that paid off?
Oh, I love that. Using the grammar as a tool for self-reflection.
Exactly. Your life is a collection of all your I have and I haven't moments. Be proud of the story they tell.
Thank you so much for listening to The Deep Dive. Keep working hard, keep dreaming, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.